So here's the thing. To date, I have done exactly 3 in-person vintage markets, all of which were in Orlando, Florida. And in true me fashion, I have decided to up my game. How, you may ask? I'm going to be selling all of my vintage wares in Puyallup, Washington, across the country for the Sewing and Stitchery Expo 2025. And today's video is sponsored by June's Journey, but more on them in a little bit. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, Stephanie, this sounds like a really bad plan. Why didn't you pick one that, I don't know, is in Lakeland, Florida? That's absolutely like 2 weekends after that, and you wouldn't have had to have flown all of your inventory across the friggin' country. That is a fantastic question that I don't have the answer to. However, I can tell you, to date, I have spent $3,884.89 to make this happen, and it keeps climbing. And if it sounds like this is stressing me out just a little bit, yes, you would be correct, but thankfully that's where we have the sponsor of today's video, June's Journey, that comes in to help out. Because listen, whenever I get a little too extra stressed on my whole endeavor of, hi, I have hundreds of patterns I'm trying to ship across the daggone country, sometimes I need just a little brain break from the checking of the patterns to help reset and refresh to move forward. Now, personally, I am at a level in which is vaguely embarrassing. However, it's a super fun game and it's really easy to play from my brain, and it also just gives me a nice little outlet when I'm just a little too stressed out. So, as I've been mighty stressed, I've also gone up quite a few levels. And one of the things I love is all the seasonal sets. Right now we have this super cute little Valentine's Day set, which has the most adorable cobblestones that I'm trying not to absolutely decorate my entire island with because they're so stinking cute. So let's go ahead and place a new one right here so that I can also add to my flowers so that I can go up another level. Don't judge me. And if you would like to download June's Journey, make sure that you are clicking the link below down in my description, or you can scan the QR code that has been on screen this whole time. Because June's Journey is free to download and super fun. And thank you to June's Journey for sponsoring today's video. But here's the thing. My goal for this entire endeavor is to make money. Obviously, I'm a business. So, I am going to be sharing with you all of the ways in which I am hoping to make this expo a success. Because yes, this is the biggest thing that I have ever done, and I am absolutely nervous about it because I am currently recording this at the beginning of February and I fly out in 20 days. I'm not nervous. I don't know what you're talking about. So the first step for all of this is going to be the merchandise. Yes, friends, all of my merchandise is vintage. Vintage being defined as anything being 20 to 99 years old. After you hit 100, that's technically antique, and if you're wondering about the 20-year rule, you can thank Etsy for that new redefinition, because that's on them. And my dear friends, if you do hear things in the background, my compatriots are over there checking all those vintage patterns as I am talking. No, we're not mad about it, because dear goodness, I need a lot of inventory. Speaking of inventory, that's right, we are going to be taking over. My goal is $10,000 worth of inventory. Now, that is the bottom line goal. That's the first goal that I have set for myself. My stretch goal is to bring $15,000 worth of merchandise, knowing that there is exactly 0.00001 chance that I will sell every single thing that I bring. The goal would be to get through half of it, right? So that way, maybe we don't lose money on this endeavor. But what that has entailed is I have gone through all of my backstock, literally all of it. I have hunted for every single factory folded pattern that is not listed on my website, and I have been labeling them every single night. So as I have found them, then we bag them and then we label them. all of the labels, because these are all different patterns, different sizes, different states of completedness, for those that we are checking, are all individual, which means that every label that you see here is all individually printed out and typed up by, that's right, yours truly. Which also means that in the grand scheme of things, the time I am putting into this is not in that original counter of how much I have spent. I will try and estimate that and put it at the end. Because it's not just been me that has been doing this. I have had the wonderful help of two of my lovely friends, Tina and Morgan, both of whom are paid because we pay people for their work on this channel. So what we are doing is we are going through and checking patterns, making sure they look good, ironing them back into their original bags, bagging them, and labeling them. And while this sounds like, oh, that should be simple, let me tell you something here, friends. When you are looking at literally hundreds of patterns all of the time, everything starts to kind of go into this miasm of they all look the frickin' same. So you have to do it in smaller chunks so that your brain doesn't get overwhelmed by all the information that you're giving it, which means it takes time. Which is why we started this endeavor in the middle of October. That's when we started properly getting ready for this. Now, the biggest kicker to all of these patterns that I want to have in Puyallup is you gotta ship them. And thankfully, my wonderful friend Haley, who is based out of Seattle, is already ready and receiving these packages. So as I am listing them, bagging them, tagging them, closing up the boxes, weighing them, insuring them, and shipping them out, my friend Haley is there to catch them and store them for me until I get there. Will Tina and I still be carrying really giant suitcases full of absolutely everything else? Yes, yes, we will. Now, speaking of merchandise, we are also trying new things. What an idea! Because not only am I bringing as many vintage patterns as I possibly can, from child's to maternity to teen to women's sizes. Yes, that's right. I am going to have an entire section of bust 40 and up because I want folks to be able to enjoy shopping for those in person. But we are also diving into a new realm. So for those of you that have been around since last year where we did the giant estate sale buyout, which I know there's a few of you, I have actually gone through, and as we get to the end of each bolt, we are cutting away the section that was touching the bolt, the part that's usually the most damaged or things like that. And what we are doing is the amazing Tina, along with her AccuQuilt 3000, I don't think that's the actual name of it, but I'll show you here. She has taken that and she is making 5-inch squares so that we can make charm packs of the estate sale. Because of course, don't want to throw away that end piece, so what we are doing is trying to save as much as we can of these pieces to bundle up and sell to you. Now, I did say that Tina is hand cutting these out because just because she's using the AccuQuilt with the little hand crank thingy doesn't mean it's not done by hand. I cannot stress enough how thankful I am, 1, that Tina owns such a thing, and 2, that she has been willing to do this on all of her days that she's working from home. And also 3, to her vacuum cleaner for cleaning up all of the fluff that has been produced by making these. And once they were all cut out, Tina brought them to us, and that's when we learned just how hard it is to count to 42 when there's multiple people in the room doing it at the same time. Morgan, Tina, and I all combined our efforts, and we laid everything out on the table, and we made charm packs as much as we could. And we will continue to do this until we leave for Sew Expo, because we will not get through all this fabric. Absolutely not. But I will say, if for some reason when we go to Sew Expo and they do not sell, I do intend to list those on my website so that all of you at home could maybe take home a charm pack of these estate sale fabrics. And of course, where would we be at a Sewing Expo without some vintage fabrics? Now I will say taking over vintage fabrics is difficult because most of them are very heavy. And I don't want to super duper compete with the vintage fabric sellers that are already there, who I definitely shopped from last time, and seemed like a very nice human being. I would like to not ruffle too many feathers, but I do know that I have some good fabrics that I'd really love to find new homes, and I feel like if I drag them across the country, maybe it'll happen. So I am going to go through some of my website stock, some of my personal fabrics that I've sort of realized I'm never actually going to use, and just general other pieces of fabric that I have around the house well, it is me. But the main item will be patterns. The second way in which we are going to make this happen is merch! Not only am I going to be bringing my Sew, Fail, Learn, Repeat stickers, but we are also making prints available and some exclusive merchandise that is in progress that will only be available at Sew Expo. Now, I don't expect this particular wing of this to be a huge moneymaker, mainly because I think I only have about 95 of these left, because they are also available on my website now, just because they're fun, and I'm proud of myself for making a sticker. And if you would like one, you can head to my website, backroomfinds.com, and snag one before we go to the expo. And now, the third way in which we are going to try and make our money back is teaching! Yes, folks, me, the person who has said for as long as I have been alive that I am not a teacher, has finally realized that actually I might be able to. So what I did was I actually submitted 5 classes to Sew Expo. Well, to my surprise, they took them all! Alright, will do. Thank you so much. Bye. I'm teaching at Sew Expo! And so the preparation began. First off, because I am teaching a Sew Your Caftan Without a Pattern class, which means that I need a lot of vintage fabric to be cleaned for these caftans. Which also means a lot of laundry.
A few moments later.
And now to do that 7,000 more times. And while I had sourced some child-sized gloves for my glove pincushion course, unfortunately, a few days ago, I did get the very sad notification that one of my classes, my poor glove pincushion, is going to be canceled. It's okay. I only had one person sign up for it. If you are watching this, I'm really sorry. I didn't actually make that call, but that is what I was informed was going to happen. So I am still teaching my caftan course, as well as still doing all 3 lectures. So if you do want to come see me, please do come to Sew Expo and let's do this together. Come make a caftan or hang out with me in one of the lectures. And also my lectures aren't really lectures. I'm still going to do a little bit of hands-on feeling pieces. Not like you can actually make something in there, but I am going to have little examples to pass around. And in case you cannot make it out to Sew Expo, never fear, my lovely friend Morgan will still be here in Florida filling your orders from the website. And while there won't be any new updates as far as new items while I'm gone, you will still be able to purchase and get your orders in a timely fashion. And as far as the hours calculation goes, I believe that in total between all 4 people that are working on this, we have put in close to 150 hours, which means that I have spent another $3,300 on labor. In total, to date, I have spent $7,184.89 to get ready for Sew Expo. And don't forget, if you would like to download June's Journey, make sure that you're clicking the link down below in the description or scanning the QR code so that you can come join me in playing June's Journey. And while I wish I had some type of amazing vlog footage to show you at the end where I'm in Sew Expo ready to go and making all of my money back, we're not there yet. So this is part 1 of a 2-part series, which I will be doing the second part after I have completed the expo in Seattle. So make sure that you're coming back to see how much we actually end up making versus how much money I've already spent. And If you enjoy these type of vintage selling videos, maybe you should stick around, click the subscribe button, and don't forget to sew in chaos. We'll see you in Puyallup in a couple weeks after I do a couple other videos. Okay, bye! But that's just the life of a vintage seller on the go. I don't know. What was that? I don't know!